Welcome back to my channel. I'm Crystal and I'm sharing how I made Rugrats Phil and Lil's tunic from pattern to final reveal. These tunics will be for 1-year-old babies, and I drafted their patterns using their onesies, measurements I found on Google for their range, and a YouTube video that is linked in the description box below. Then I sketched the duck, handkerchief, and pocket and button patterns. I've never made baby clothes before, so I was taking a lot of precautions with the measurements. For both tunics, I slash and spread the pattern, but for Lil's, I made it a little bit wider than Phil's. I used muslin to make a sample for both patterns. That way I can fit the babies just to make sure the sizing was accurate. I also made the patterns front and back, and I noted where the center front and back would be. I used a sewing tracing wheel to notate the details of the tunic so I can know where everything goes, such as the duck and the buttons. After cutting the muslin, I sewed each tunic together. Once I finished cutting and sewing the sample, I started making the details for the tunic because I didn't need to wait for a fitting to do that portion of the design. I cut out the duck, button, handkerchief, and pocket, and I used scrap fabric to make the filling for each detail piece. I sew the scrap fabric to one side before I seal it up with the other. Each detail will give a 3D effect once attached to the tunic. I'm back from my fitting and it went well. I spent about 2 hours and I brought my needle and thread and a pencil so I can quickly make any changes necessary. Once I got home, all I had to do was transfer all the changes to the pattern on paper, and then I can cut without feeling nervous that the sizes weren't right. I did have to reduce 2 inches from the hem and about 1.5 inches from the sides. I left the fitting feeling confident because I got an accurate size of each baby. Before I connect the lining, I will hand stitch the details to the tunic to give a 3D effect. Once I attach the lining, you won't see any of the thread, which is what I wanted, because it just makes everything look clean and finished, and it's just a better look than seeing all of the seam allowances and, hanging threads from each detail. I'm only sewing the faux pocket, then hand stitching the handkerchief. I decided to hand stitch the faux buttons because they weren't sewing well with my machine. I'm so happy that my friend reached out to make the babies their first ever custom outfits. Here is the final reveal. The tunics came out amazing. So that's it for this video. Comment below your thoughts on the tunics, if I executed it well, and I will see you in the next one.